We're off to the airport. Catch your flight. Let's go. So how's it going? I figure I'd document my journey. We're going for hair restoration. So as you can see, I've had the same hairline since I was 19. Done a lot of research when I was younger, and it was plugs. So I wasn't gonna do that. I used to shave my head. So now, with technology, it's follicles and it looks much natural. So I've done last few months, a lot of research, looking at Bosley, stuff's in the US, and decided to go to Turkey. Seemed like they were doing a lot of different stuff, spent a lot of time talking, and it's really hard to find a lot of reviews, especially when I was looking for stuff on the US like Restore or Bosley. It wasn't much. There's a lot of videos that they made, but no personal experiences. And the ones I try to find, I can relate more to, everyday guy just trying to figure out what's best, because there's a lot out there. And to be honest, I almost went with Bosley. They gave me a big price up front. Then they said if if we have a cancellation, you do urgent, we'll knock off $5-6 grand. And sounds good. And I was like, well, it's in the US, I could do it. Might have to make some payments, couldn't pay for the whole thing. They called me next day, we got an appointment. I said, okay, cleared everything with work. And the next day they called me, sorry, canceled. They already booked somebody. So I just figured it wasn't meant to be. And they tried calling, we'll give you the same price, pick another day. What day? So it didn't feel like there was as busy. And for the price and what you get, and how they do things with forceps and DHI, because you hear like Sapphire, DHI, you hear all kinds of terminology, why, these are fads, these aren't good. And, I started doing a lot of research and looking at, some people don't use Sapphire blades, some do, some use DHI, which DHI is like a direct hair implant. It's like a pen, they put each follicle in there, and they're different sizes depending on how thick or big your follicle is. So they can put a smaller incision in your head, and they put this pen in it, and they push a button and it opens up. So it's supposed to keep the roots of the hair, the follicle straight, versus like taking a forceps pair of tweezers and stuff it in there. The roots can kind of bend. So, they were saying, oh, that's only like 5%. I was like, okay, it's 5% better. And then, some people do the oxygen treatment. Like, yeah, there's some studies, it could help 5-10%. Okay, well, now we're up to 15% better, than PRP treatment or stem cells, which in the US is very expensive. And I found in Turkey, it's a few $100, where they use your own blood to pull PRP, spin it and stuff. And, that there's another 10-15%. So you start adding all this little stuff, 5, 10, 15, 20, before you know it's a quarter better. And I figure you're investing, you might as well try to do whatever you can to get the best outcome, right? Besides being a third of the cost and kind of getting a trip. So we're speaking with 5 or 6 different clinics in Turkey, kind of just getting more information, asking questions, going back and forth. And it was very important to have a doctor involved, not just technicians. And after talking and going back and forth, I narrowed down to 2. And they were Vera Clinic and Cosmetica. And I did end up choosing Cosmetica because of Dr. Eckhart. He seemed to have a lot of experience, been doing it for a long time. He developed a couple tools that are patented and are in use. He spoke around, so that made me feel very comfortable. Even though he's not doing the surgery, he's the one who does the hairline and watches over. The 2 people are 2 nurse practitioners that were training under him. So I feel very confident in that. Because finding out here, if a doctor does do it, it's only the hairline and then the incisions. And technicians do the rest. You don't know how long those technicians have been there. They can have somebody they quit and then somebody new. So it's a lot of questions to ask to find out what works better for you. But I can tell you that going to Turkey is literally a quarter of the price compared to what I pay in the US, and getting a little more treatment on top of hotel stay, transportation, going a day early to look around and stuff like that. So my goal is just to document my journey, let you know how things go from airport, everything, so that it could be another resource when someone's thinking about this. And we'll see what kind of happens, right? It's not so bad. I've rocked it for a long time. Used to shave my head for years, but it's something I've always wanted. I just didn't realize the technology as I've gotten older. And the technology out there, and to be honest, I see someone I work with that got it, and not from Turkey, someone from the US, and it looked amazing. So that's what really sold me. And so come along with the journey and we'll see what happens. All right, we're in the shuttle now. So the flight was around 11 hours to Frankfurt, 2-hour layover, then 4.5 hours to Turkey, and landed in Istanbul. Customs was simple, fast, and then getting to the travel van was easy. So far so good. So on our way to the hotel now.